maybe we will get started. Just to kind of repeat myself again, if you have your camera off, it would be wonderful if you could turn it on so we can kind of be together in this kind of community of doing this interactively and together. And also because if you don't, Luca will keep nagging me to ask you to turn your camera on so that we can take a group picture. So much appreciated if you can turn your camera on. I don't think we can do that. I don't know. So. Okay, I think we're ready to get started. Good afternoon, everyone. It's really, really nice to see so many of you joining us here today. My name is Natasha Munch from Digestive Cancers Europe, and I'm really thrilled to welcome you to this webinar. Today's session is especially exciting because it marks the start of something new, of a new series that we are launching together with our partner organization, Outdoor Against Cancer, also known as OAC. At DICE, our work this year is being guided by the theme of healthy aging, which is not only shaping our awareness campaigns, but also many of the initiatives that we're working on for 2026. And one of the areas that we wanted to explore more deeply within that theme is the role of physical activity on prevention, treatment, recovery, and long-term well-being. Now, the reality is when someone receives a cancer diagnosis, starting a physical activity routine is probably the last thing on their mind. There's already so much to navigate with appointments, treatments, decisions, and the whole uncertainty that comes with such a heavy diagnosis. So the idea of adding exercise on top of that, if it wasn't already part of your lifestyle, can feel really, really overwhelming and daunting. And that reaction is completely understandable. But what we're seeing with the scientific research and evidence is increasingly showing us that there is something powerful with movement. That movement, even in small intentional amounts, can make a real meaningful difference. And not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Physical activity can support energy levels and maintain strength, improve mood, and play an important role in recovery for people living with cancer or those who have survived cancer. And importantly, it doesn't need to be intense or complicated to be truly valuable. Sometimes it's just really small and consistent steps that can lead to real value. And that's exactly what we wanted to start with this series. And so between now and our DICE Masterclass that will happen in July, we will be hosting a number of short sessions like this one, where we hope to explore simple evidence-based ways to incorporate more movement into our daily lives. And our goal with this isn't perfection, it's simply to make movement feel more accessible and less intimidating. When we started out, we were very intentional about choosing the right partner for this initiative, and OAC was an absolute natural fit for us. Their mission is to help people living with cancer and those who have survived cancer rediscover strength and confidence and a quality of life through structured exercise and outdoor activities. And their programs are absolutely grounded in scientific evidence and years of hands-on experience supporting people through their recovery journey. And so because of that expertise and credibility, they were the perfect choice to help us guide this series and support our community in taking those first steps towards integrating movement into daily life. So for those of you who will be invited to join our masterclass this summer, we will also have the opportunity to celebrate this journey together. We will have a 5K run or a 3K walk for those who want a bit of options. And this is not a competition, Nicola, this is not a competition, but it is a moment to recognize resilience, community, and the role movement can play in recovery and well-being. So today is that starting point for us. Over the next 30 minutes, we hope that you will move a little, learn a little, and hopefully come away with a few ideas that can make physical activity feel more possible for you in your day-to-day life. So thank you once again for being here and starting this journey with us. And before I hand it off to Joshua and Hannah from Outdoor Against Cancer, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. We are recording this session and we will be taking, I guess, screenshots over the course of the webinar to use on our social media. If you have an issue with that, please feel free free to reach out directly to me, and we'll make sure to resolve it for you. So without further ado, welcome Hannah and Joshua.
Thank you. So welcome everyone to our Lunch and Learn webinar titled, now I skipped already, How Movement Supports Health, Prevention and Recovery. And thank you, Dice, for this opportunity to have this webinar and this whole event with you. In this first session, we will explore the role that movement and physical activity can play in supporting health, in preventing disease, but also in aiding recovery, particularly in the context of cancer. This webinar is part of our Fun Run series and aims to provide both practical insights and evidence-based perspectives on how movement can positively impact health and well-being, as you already said. And over the next few minutes, we will take a little closer look to why movement is such an important factor for overall health, actually, and how it can support people across different stages of the cancer continuum, from prevention to recovery. So what can you expect from today's session? This first webinar combines a light-guided movement component by my colleague Joshua, and with evidence-based information about the benefits of physical activity, actually. And the session in general is designed for a wide audience, so to speak, so including healthcare professionals, people with lived cancer experience, advocates, and like anyone interested in incorporating more movement into their daily life, as we probably all should. And our goal is to encourage movement in an accessible way, to provide practical insights and share scientific knowledge about the role of physical activity and health. Let's start with the key principles, because one key question we want to address today is, how does movement support physical and mental well-being across the cancer continuum? And therefore, we focus on these four key concepts. First of all, movement, which simply refers to any form of physical activity or change in body position. The second one is prevention, meaning actions that help reduce the risk of illness or complications. Third is health, which we understand as a holistic state of physical, mental, and social well-being. There are a lot of different definitions, and somehow we have to choose one of these many definitions, what overall health can describe. And finally, recovery. This describes the process in which people rebuild their health, well-being, and overall quality of life. But not only to understand what movement in general is all about, but also feel the effects, Joshua will guide you now through a little guided warm-up.
All right, everybody. Welcome from my side also. Super excited for this opportunity to share some of my obsession with movement. I'm a sports scientist by training and a movement nerd by night, I'd say. And I love, and we love exercise and movement and expanding our own literacy when it comes to our body. And when we talked about this idea of doing a guided warm-up, we thought of a really fundamental movement pattern that we want to install in your body and to progress it over time. So what you can expect from this really fundamental movement pattern, that we're going to progress it over the next coming webinars. We're going to supplement it with social media videos and any videos that will really help you guide this pattern and install it in the correct way. We're going to start really slow today, and I'm just asking you to repeat this and revisit this and play with it and see how it reaches and expands your vocabulary when it comes to movement. So the really fundamental movement pattern I was talking about is single leg stance or single leg balance work. So as we walk on two legs mostly, we spend significant time being on one leg. We have a swing phase and we have a stance phase. Doing running, walking up the stairs or whatever, it's always single leg phase after single leg phase. So this single leg phase needs to be solid. It needs to be literate. It needs to be able to expand and discover our environment. We're not always walking on flat surface, on concrete. We might be in nature. We might go hiking or whatever. So we need to be able to use our body and to use the single leg stance in many different ways. And what we're going to do is we're going to work on weight shift. So the thing I'm asking you now is to find some place where you can stand and where you can move a little bit more freely. Say, I think 1 square meter would be enough to start with. The more, the better. And the only thing is that I'm asking you is obviously to still have a look at the screen so you can see me moving. And I'm really sorry you will only see me cropped from waist down because I don't have that much space behind me. But it's the most important part. So please tell me if you don't see me or if there's any issue. I'm just going to shift the screen slightly and we'll see if that works. So what we're going to do is just find a natural, comfortable stance. Knees are slightly bent, so not super strict, slightly bent, and you feel comfortable with it. You feel your whole foot touching the ground, and this you could stay like this for minutes and even hours if possible. And now you feel a weight distribution. You have approximately 50% of the weight on the left and on the right leg. And what we're going to work on is we're going to shift our weight. So move our upper body and the rest of the body on top of one leg and see if we can lift the other leg up. I'm just going to show you and then you can follow along. We're going to do 1 minute and then we're going to play around with this pattern. So hands can be freely to help you balance. So you shift your weight and you feel like this leg now is unsubstantial. You don't need it and you could potentially lift it up. And then you move to the other side. What I want you to do is focus on the quality of the movement and focus on your knees. So I don't want any major deviations with the knee when you do this pattern. It should be aligned with your ankle and with your hip. Really in a straight line, basically. So you shift and you try to lift that leg really subtly from the ground. No major movements. And we're going to do this for 1 minute combined, and then we're going to progress this exercise a little bit. So starting in 3, 2, 1, and go. And really take your time with this pattern. We don't want any major movement. We want a quiet leg. So it's just supporting us. There's no major movement. Take care of your knee position. If you need to correct it, if it's deviating, pull it back. You can look down, obviously, as well to have some visual feedback. We're going to do 30 more seconds. And stay with this continuous flow of quality, this pouring of weight. Don't go too fast. Find complexity in the easy. So 5 more seconds. And loosen up a little bit. What we're going to do now is we're going to progress this movement into the next phase, and we'll find 3 points. If you're in your single leg position, we'll find 3 points. 1 is in front of you, 1 is to the side, and 1 is to the back of you. And you try to reach it with your big toe from the free swinging leg and go as far as you can while remaining quality. So I don't want any, as again, deviations or instability. You're going to do 3 points in these positions, and then you're going to shift your weight to the other side again. Same movement like we did before. Lift your leg and then find these points that you can point at. And with every repetition, shifting from one side to another, you want to go further down and further to the front and to the back. We're going to do the same thing. 1 minute, I'm going to guide you. 3, 2, 1, and start. Shift your weight to one side and find these points. 1, 2. Take your time, don't rush it. And then shift your weight to the other side. And now second round, try to expand a little bit more. Try to reach further. And the other side again. Check your knee. If the knee is aligned correctly, we have about 20 seconds left. So one more round approximately, and now go even further. Try to bend your supporting leg a little bit more. And last side, 3 more reps. And then that's it. Shake your legs a little bit, and then we can return. You can stay standing up as well, or moving, depending on how you like it. And yeah, this was a really fundamental introduction to the progressions that we're going to see over time. And it's going to be way more complex. So I'm repeating this again. Try to repeat this pattern. And this is not something in a traditional sense of I'm going to do 10 reps by 10 sets or whatever, 3 times a week. Try to do it daily. You can do single leg balance work, or these point reaches when you brush your teeth, for example, or when you're just waiting for the bus, you can do these weight shifts. And it's going to resemble a little bit of Tai Chi or Qigong practice. And yeah, try to install this movement. It's going to be really, really important that you have some literacy, some understanding, some physical understanding of this pattern, that you can move ahead and along with the progressions that are going to come. And as I said, because of the fun run, it's a run or walk, this pattern is of utmost importance. So thank you for joining. Try to repeat it. And Hannah, stage is yours again.
Thank you very much. So I hope you're a little warmed up now. And now to understand what we actually just did is now to understand what movement is. Because when we talk about movement, we are essentially referring to any action that changes the body. Let me just, now you can see it in full screen. Is any action that changes the body's position or posture. But beyond this overall definition, there are several important questions we should consider. Why is it important? And how can it be integrated into daily life? And overall, what should we keep in mind when we do so? What is important? First, why is movement important? Movement plays a key role in maintaining both physical and mental health, as we already said. So regular physical activity helps to improve cardiovascular fitness, muscle strength, and mobility, which are all 3 major big components when it comes to movement and being active. But it also supports mental well-being, reducing stress and improving the mood. The second question is how it can be integrated into daily life. The good news is that movement is not always required or not always requires structured workouts or long training sessions. Small changes in everyday routines can already make a difference. So, for example, to choose to walk short distances. Maybe if you take normally the bus, you step out of the bus 1 station earlier and walk the rest. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator, standing up and moving regularly during long sitting periods, as we just did, or just incorporating short balance or mobility exercises at home or at work. So now you have, little ideas of how this can look. And the key idea is to make movement a more natural part of the day rather than something separate from it. And one helpful approach is to use your environment. As I said, it not always requires structured exercise session. It can also happen naturally throughout the day. As I said, by walking, whatever you take, you do squats on a little lower chair or anything. And to have a bit of a guideline, we developed recommendations for cancer care, as you can see here. And it all starts with a warm-up. This should not be seen as an option, but as a crucial part of your workout or your training, because it prepares the body for a higher intense physical activity and also raises the body temperature. Additionally, it gives you the chance to feel and listen to your body, and maybe to take it easy on that day. Depends on how the warm-up feels for you. You can still decide, okay, today I'm feeling very good, I can do the 5K run, or maybe it's just I'll do the 3K walk. And in this warm-up, you can decide and feel or listen to your body how you feel. And every day, the same thing is that movement is better than inactivity. Even small amounts of physical activity can make a difference. The second part is the aerobic exercise. Followed by the warm-up, the aerobic endurance training will engage your entire body. Important is start small and then build gradually. It's not necessary to begin with an intense training program and do the half marathon at first training. What matters most is creating a routine that is realistic and sustainable over time. It needs to be something that you can really do, so it needs to fit to your actual status and to your actual fitness. Additionally to the aerobic training is the strength training. And the aerobic training is recommended to do 150 to 300 minutes per week. And you should do 2 to 3 sessions of strength training additionally for your large muscle groups. It can be it doesn't have to be in a gym or with machines or so ever. It also can be body weight exercises, especially in the beginning when you said. As I said earlier, use your environment. And consistency is key. So health benefits from physical activity are most noticeable when movement really becomes a regular part of your daily life, weekly, and not just, oh nice, now I did 5 minutes of an active break. So we really want the consistency in it. Last but not least, the cool down. So just as the warm up, the cool down should be an essential part of your training to stabilize the body temperature and heart rate by gradually reducing the intensity. This can be things like easy, pleasant mobility or stretching exercises. And there you can also take a moment to reflect on your training and see where you can build variety in movement. So ideally, different types of activity should be combined, including aerobic exercise, strength training, as well as balance and mobility exercises, because this kind of a multi-component approach helps support overall fitness and improves functional ability in everyday life. And scientific research also highlights the importance of physical activity, as Joshua will demonstrate now for us.
So I mean, it's been pretty clear from observational studies in the past decade or more that there is a correlation between several important health outcomes and physical activity or exercise in general. But what was the most impressive and the most relevant trial by date is the challenge study. I think most people that are involved in exercise and oncology have heard of it from the publication last year, which basically gives the strongest clinical evidence, randomized clinical evidence, that a structured exercise program actually improves, and then to mention the most important ones, disease-free survival, overall survival by a significant portion, and also patient-reported physical functioning and health-related fitness. So yeah, how did the intervention actually look like? It was, you can skip to the next page as well. Thank you. It was done by a physical activity consultant, which seemed to be really important, and which you should keep in mind. Having a professional guide you through exercise and through movement sessions is so important, because of the methodology and the idea behind it, but also from the motivational perspective. And they actually applied behavior change strategies over a period of 3 years, which was the intervention period. And the intervention was to increase recreational physical activity by at least 10 MET hours, which approximately is 45 to 60 minutes of brisk walking or 25 to 30 minutes of jogging 3 to 4 times a week from their baseline level. So obviously they had some MET baseline levels for the say first 6 months, they were supposed to increase this level and then sustain it for the 3 years. And they could choose whatever freely type, frequency, intensity, and duration of this aerobic exercise. And this really just highlights that also we don't have only the correlation from observational studies now, but also the causation from this insanely smart created study, which plays into the recommendations that Hannah also talked about. You can skip to the next page. By having a focus on the aerobic, which was also to be integrated, and which is recommended by all the big institutions that you have heard of, that we also base the physical activity recommendations on, but also now it's expanded by strength training, which is so important for your neuromuscular system, for the health of it, and also for longevity, especially in the face of aging, but also multi-component exercise, which we termed it here. So focusing on integrated functional exercises, stuff like balance work or mobility work also, which can be done more freely, more openly, because you don't have to have such a strict recovery period. For me, it is really important to mention that you're supposed to have fun with exercise, that you're supposed to play around with movement, because it's such a natural thing that you should do every day. Because the absence of movement is something that we do not want, because in the bigger picture would be death. Movement is everything. Your heart pumps the blood through your veins, and your respiratory system is always moving. Everything is always on the cellular level. Everything is moving and interchanging. So we need to support these bodily systems through movement that we do ourselves. And what I always like to recommend people is, you can skip to the next page, Hannah, is to move in everyday life and in different ways. Choose movement over standstill, and definitely interrupt sitting periods. So whatever you want to do, interrupt these sitting periods. If you want to dance every 30 to 45 minutes, if you're in the office, it's okay. Because it's good for you and it's healthy, and it should be destigmatized to move and to be this weird person that maybe everybody's sitting at a bus stop and one person is moving. And sometimes it feels odd to be that way, I can tell you, but it's good and it's going to help you in the long run. So view movement and exercise and the beauty of life through the eyes of a child. And they always want to play, they always want to have fun, they always want to move in different ways. And this is one of the things that I can really give to you. We're going to expand our ideas about how to train in the upcoming webinars. We're going to work on the physical progression of the single leg stance, which is going to be super fun. And I'm excited to maybe hear some feedback in Munich when you guys join the run. And theoretically, the next webinar will focus on how to get started with running and how to motivate oneself. And we're going to talk about motivational and behavior change strategies. We're going to dive into the mode and the purpose of running, which is going to be super interesting. And upcoming then in, I think it's May, will be the launch of the Fun Run training program. And it will be an 8-week training program, which is going to be super cool for you guys to follow. It's going to be 8 consecutive weeks until the Fun Run. It's going to prepare you to join either the 5K run or the 3K walk. And it's going to be great. It's going to be really, really, really cool. That's it from my side. Thank you so much for joining this webinar and joining and giving me your attention, or us your attention, and hopefully for joining the upcoming webinars. The next ones are going to be recorded, so you can watch them whenever, which might fit into your time schedule a bit better. But please still watch them with the same excitement and follow the exercises with the same excitement too. And anything else to add from Hannah or Natasha?
Thank you. It was I think you summed it up really good. Ultimately, the goal is not perfection. The goal is simply to keep moving in ways that are sustainable and enjoyable. Thank you very much.
And if anyone has questions that, you know, they want some guidance on or support with, feel free to email me or someone at DICE and we'll get it answered for you from OAC.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Right
everyone.
for a picture, like
Luca wants a picture.
a final
Smile,
picture.
everyone.
Another,
Great.
and then I have to go.
People are turning on their cameras.
Great. Perfect.
Thank
Oh.
you, guys. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.